Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel. Welcome you to today's stream. It is going to be the third round for the last round of the group stage for the AoMT Hybrid Crown Club, sponsored by AoL Destroyer and hosted by us, RTS League. And we're gonna be having quite a solid matchup between F2 plus Albis on his Lobias versus the Walker Team B. Basically Walker Team B, which are usually, they are pretty much supposed to be vanilla experts. Well, suppose they actually are vanilla, kind of like concentrated on that game mode. 3-eyed Odin, that's no mercy. GrandMonster you can probably know from the tournaments that I have, for example, streamed on my channel, and Marcos gonna be joining them today, and against them it's gonna be ChronoJJ making the first appearance for F2. Gonna be joined by Iron Maiden and Player, who have played the previous matches in the group stage already. So this one is gonna be important because only one of the teams and clans is gonna be advancing into the playoffs. It's the last round of the group stage, the last round of the losers bracket as well. So you're gonna be seeing what the players are gonna be choosing to play. It seems like that F2 are gonna be starting on Savannah, so fairly standard. And also what kind of gods you're gonna be seeing. I don't really expect all that many Atlanteans, considering that the players are really kind of like vanilla minded and non-Atlanteans as far as the players for example F2+AoL. So probably nothing like we have seen last week on Sunday between WKT and the A team and the Teeth of Death. I don't expect anything like that is gonna be happening too much, actually. But it seems that we are kinda getting ready here with the first game of the match, so I kinda guess we might be getting started. So GLHF is gonna be F2 versus Zeus, their opponents from BKT, and F2 are gonna be joined by some AoL players. Today is gonna be Iron Maiden, and maybe it's gonna be somebody else a bit later, as I've already heard that maybe ChronoJJ might not be able to play the second game, but it's gonna be depending how fast and quickly things go, and of course how much his family is gonna be needing him at the same time. So we are starting with the first game, which should be the chosen map for F2+AoL. It's gonna be Savannah, standard matchup and standard game, as you're gonna be starting of course on the original map spawn, so you can be expecting all kinds of shenanigans. And apparently this time around it's gonna be Savannah with the back TCs. Of course they are always there, but there are also gonna be a few front TCs. You can see interestingly positioned for all the players. Kinda liking it slightly bit more right about now for Iron Maiden on the left, because it's fairly close by for him, even though it has to be said that he has kinda spawned fairly close by and basically just straight against his opponent GrandMonster on the left side. So basically the battle between the Odin and the Thor, well, is promising to be fairly interesting. In the pocket positions, it's gonna be the 3-eyed Odin, aka No Mercy, who's gonna be playing the Zeus, quite a dangerous position and dangerous player to be having in there. But considering that on the other team, you're gonna be having Player, probably one of the best Zeuses, well, if not, well, when you consider Mista, well, he's above everybody pretty much, but then Player is certainly quite close by, and one of the top Zeuses of the game that we have been basically having the opportunity to know in the past about like 10 years is gonna be playing the pocket. Yeah, well, even Omers is probably gonna be having a bit of a challenge. On the right flank, it's gonna be the first and premiere experience for ChronoJJ. You can see already fairly unfortunate with the goal, as it's fairly far away, but at least he does have luckily the woodline. It's gonna be helping him protect it at least ever so slightly, but he has to be careful about the forest fire, as he does have Odin against him on the left side. There's in the end gonna be one Atlantean, gonna be played by Marcos. It's not gonna be any kind of like triple AT or anything, and considering the fact that we are playing on kinda like vanilla rules, kinda slash with AoT, considering the Atlanteans, well, we can definitely expect that the Egyptian does have a solid chance against him, because pre-siege spam is certainly very powerful against Atlanteans. It's better from Isis, quite obviously, as Isis is overall really quite a solid god on the base game. But, well, Ra shouldn't be all that bad, and all that hard in that regard should be basically one TC faster heroic, and probably emulating exactly what I was right about now saying. Otherwise, the front TC doesn't seem to be all that bad, especially considering the duo with the gold right next to it. That's gonna be a bit of a nice bonus for ChronoJJ for the faster heroic and potential advance forward, but he's probably gonna be getting at least slightly raided, as he's already scouted by Marcos, and therefore we can be expecting that, well, he will have to fight for it quite hard. Otherwise, already gonna be hugging the trees, so potentially the forest fire danger is going to be there, even though it shouldn't be that huge, as it's only one tree and not basically anymore hugging it, as it's kinda the damage is reliant on how many trees are around the building. Can we probably fighting it at least ever so slightly. Maybe could have been some kind of idea, but apparently they didn't exactly want to do so. He's gonna be continuing with a few goats already with husband, as you could have seen. As he was having, the X on the back of the goat, basically marked for slaughter. As in the middle, he's gonna be GrandMonster right now, moving forward. And it seems like the spot where he actually used. Yep, definitely gonna be the spot where he used his Great Hunt. As you can see, only one goatee. That is not going to be enough. And as a result of any kind of Great Hunt for him, on the left side he's having a TC reasonably positioned considering the fact that he does have the food there, but he must be right now switching over our mindset into basically the hybrid mod, as we are not in Titans, therefore not any kind of classical HTC is gonna be becoming a reality here. Let's check the relics in the meantime. What kind of importance they're gonna be having on the game, come on. Click. Can we find it? Can we click it? Or what's going on here? Right now we can. It's gonna be 10% villagers farming rate, definitely great. And it's gonna be helpful, could be helpful for the Ra. Yeah, well, luckily for the opposing team, for WKT, it's not gonna be next to him, as cheaper walls and gates could be kinda nice, but considering this huge map, it's usually quite a solid predicament to be able to wall it up, all of it. Better villager gold get rate. Harmonious necklace is actually not bad at all, especially in the early game. It's making quite a bit of a difference. So quite nice relic on the right hand. Right next to ChronoJJ is gonna be Boots of Kick Everything for better hero speed. So that will be actually very nice for Loki, but we don't have Loki here, as the Prometheus very fast advanced, about like 408. Quite solid at this point. Counter barracks ×2, so basically just Turma raiding. And gonna be trying to raid the villages here and there. But you can see that ChronoJJ is already well preparing with all the walling, trying to basically make sure that especially the gold is gonna be completely safe. And it almost seems that he's gonna be forced into not only maybe losing the villager, maybe she could be surviving. Yeah. Nice. Quite nice indeed, basically right now safety. And yeah, definitely quite nice idea to be switching it over, but potentially could have picked one that is a bit more higher health. And it seems he's gonna be getting away with it anyway. And it's gonna be interesting to see what Marcos is gonna be right now doing, because he went for only Turmas. So therefore, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to switch all the way into the pocket and just going for the raid into the player, and maybe even into the north on the left. Because going into Ras base, I don't think it's gonna be working all that well. I really don't think so, as otherwise the advances are fairly late-ish for player and Iron Maiden, Freya, Hermes coming forward for them. As for the opposing team, well, they are already through almost with Freya as well. So basically everybody advancing fairly late with the shifting sands already coming forward and stealing Oxcart. Nice. And two Dwarfies. They're gonna be certainly helpful right about now. Quite nice combination and cooperation right about now. With the Ursak, and this is basically right now letting you know exactly that the walling wasn't exactly only because of protecting the gold mine, but also to basically make sure that nobody's gonna be running away from this kind of position. To the top, well, gonna be right now walking back into GrandMonster's base, and it should be definitely giving a bit of advantage to Iron Maiden, who has basically right now built up a bit front. Not exactly two frontage, but at least halfway there. Now he's gonna be making sure that the settlement is gonna be fairly covered together with the gold mine. And well, the position is so that he does control kinda this way between the trees and basically towards his base. But maybe he could be hugging the TC a bit more. So basically just to make sure there's not gonna be any kind of shenanigan from the opponent coming forward. So Forest Fires already cast, gonna be right now by the bottom team all the way to the top, with Storehouse getting destroyed and the villagers kinda almost not knowing if they should be escaping or not. But yeah, well, they're gonna be escaping quite fine, as they're always already going for a bit of scouting to the back, looking at three-eyed Odin's villages on the Rhinos, and maybe could be a bit annoying and helping here. Well, apparently not exactly noticing, and maybe not wanting to even engage, so that he doesn't want to be basically paid attention to, hiding for the underworld passage at the back. As the bolt is already right now going to be used, it's gonna be to the top side. Getting rid of the Raiden Centaur, if I saw it correctly. As F2 player basically is going for the strategy right now, already having Centaur Polemarchs, and even though he doesn't have the starting one, we mustn't forget that we are on AoMT hybrid, so therefore we need only 2 and the special attack to destroy normal villager, and 3 to destroy an Atlantean citizen, just on the one hit, and on the one salve pretty much. Well, this gold is certainly gonna be a bit of a problem for GrandMonster. He does have secondary gold a bit more to the left, which is definitely not safe either, and so far, he haven't been able to find anything at the back, and to be honest, I'm not sure if they are even finding it, or are they looking for that, because this is the opposing team. Just basically scouting where they should be switching with Raiden. As in the meantime, of course, GrandMonster is gonna be having a very hard fight against Iron Maiden, and it seems like that he might be actually needing at least a bit of assistance, and it's gonna be coming with a few centaurs from three-eyed Odin, but he will have to be quite a lot more careful right about now. But nice hit, nice snipe in there, And of course, with the gold being wide open, they will certainly need at least some kind of tower upgrade, right? Well, so far it's not coming, curiously enough. So you could be thinking that that might be some kind of advantage to basically help protect the gold, and I'm thinking it's definitely something that he needs to be going for. So unfortunately, you don't have right now the observer goodie, so you cannot exactly see if he's coming for that, and if he's having the resources for this. As the longhouse is coming, well, that is a fairly curious position. Actually, interesting hole in there. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not. But he's probably right now having a mind of not exactly keeping it safe, but rather gonna asserting his dominance on the left field. Just basically heading for the gold, because he really doesn't know about any kind of other. And yeah, well, unfortunately, there is a hole. Yep. There's a huge hole at the very back, which is of course gonna be leading into this disaster. They don't have forest fire anymore, could potentially help here, but even just the horses there, with quite nice maneuvering on top of them as they're trying to get behind the wall in here, is gonna be resulting into at least downtime in the economy, and the villagers, they're not gonna be dying that badly, only one of them, but still, well worth it, and definitely well done at the same time. Can be right now switching a bit more to the bottom side, where ChronoJJ was apparently raided on the wood line ever so slightly, as he's already advancing through Hathor at about like 9:30. Not exactly the fastest, but let's see what kind of strategy he's gonna be coming for. As Valor is already used, bit of a forward build up right now by Marcos, who is coming for armory, so apparently Heroic Age is not really all that far behind and away from him either, as Yellow is still kinda running around being chased by Three-Eyed Odin, but we don't really see any kind of like brutal raiding as we see on Titans, as they're gonna be right now flying around, and with the 4-second shockwave, you can definitely expect that both of them are gonna be toast like they are. So well played. Nice usage of the god powers here. As to the bottom, there's gonna be Marcos trying to raid the gold yet again, as it is pretty much the theme of this game and of this map that everybody is gonna be having the gold forward, and therefore just open for raiding from all kinds of players. Okay, so Hathor is gonna be already prepared for as the first Heroic Age, obviously, as a few more centaurs are still gonna be available for a bit of raiding, but you don't exactly see all that many from them for player, because he has already switched into the horses, into Hippicons. You can see he's having double stables right about now, but it almost seems that he might be a bit more interested in the economy. You can see the double upgrades in there, pretty much the standard for green. It's gonna be the same, and I'm kinda curious which one of them is gonna be advancing a bit faster into the next age, as there's yet again quite solid raiding by Iron Maiden into the gold miners on the left, and yep, they are definitely playing according to the map. And I have a few gold mines at the back, you can see in the corner for Three-Eyed Odin. As this is gonna be pretty much a situation handled without all that many losses, but still. Well, he actually plugged the hole, okay. So that's not any kind of hole anymore, as GrandMonster is doing what he can, and with a bit of assistance from No Mercy, it seems to be going rather well. And those two gold mines, exactly as I was talking about, so he doesn't need this desperately. He can be just going all the way to the top. He probably doesn't want to be encroaching all that much, though in a team game, he probably should be encroaching just fine. As you can see that there is a bit of a problem in Paradise, but not anymore. It's gonna be still costing about like 2 villages at least, which is definitely bad loss. But considering that he has right now secured the gold mine for himself, and the opponent is having only Turmas with a relic that was for the cheaper walls and gates, so not exactly like the most important one in the game, it's gonna be resulting into right now the spam of apparently combination of camels and chariot archers, at least for the time being. Yeah, well, another village dead. ChronoJJ definitely has to be a bit more careful, as he already finished with the second TC at the back, and Thea is coming forward at 11 minutes for Marcos, so he is a bit too late, I'm thinking, and therefore I definitely do expect that ChronoJJ could be getting something significant out of that, as with the second TC so early, and right about now just basically checking if somebody's advancing into the front age, or rather front age Heroic Age yet again. Well, doesn't seem so far, at least for F2+AoL, but this huge, well, cavalry's charge is gonna be quite deadly for GrandMonster and Three-Eyed Odin once they are gonna be encountered. Definitely no reason to be coming with all their army after this, as player is gonna be handling it quite fine and doesn't even have to send all of that either. Could be definitely helpful if he send a few more units forward to help his teammate against Three-Eyed Odin. But to be honest, with how it is right now looking, even though the cavalry is definitely getting up in numbers as well for GrandMonster, with the upgrades being there, at least for the line, it is looking kinda basically 2v2 on the left side and a bit of a 1v1 on the right between the Egyptian and the Atlantean. So far heading into quite solid later game. So far it's definitely quite far away from late game yet. Let's check. I'm really still curious if the Heroic Ages are gonna be coming forward, but since we are on AoMT hybrid, it's gonna be taking a bit. Nobody's gonna be advancing that quickly, as the second TCs are simply not there in the classical age. And, well, the settlement is already built for Marcos, so he's gonna be basically right now matching with ChronoJJ, but he has taken the front one. And the reason for that is because he was well prepared indeed in the front build-up, and that was basically not all that much of a raiding by ChronoJJ to basically prevent that from him. But this on the left side is certainly quite a big problem, as he was apparently another citizen there, and he needs to be probably producing a few more military buildings, or maybe he just needs to be producing a few towers here, because this is definitely not gonna be working for him at all. He does have at least a bit of a gold mine at the back, gonna be certainly helpful, with apparently already shaft mine and irrigation and handacks. Definitely nice upgrades for ChronoJJ at that point, as you're gonna be switching to roulette, where already player is going to be having medium Hippicons, and he's gonna be fighting against throwing axemen, which don't have upgrades yet, with Iron Maiden already medium raiders, not any kind of upgrades on his. But much more importantly, we already know about the armory, so therefore the heroic cage doesn't have to be all that far away, and it definitely isn't. With Scuddy already coming, but unfortunately, even though the horses are gonna be helpful, they are not medium yet. So is he at least researching? Well, unless he has another stable here, but 3 stables, no research into the medium yet, but he's coming through Dionysus, and that is a very interesting choice. Very interesting choice, because in team games, Underworld Passage is usually straight better. Even though Dionysus, there is something to say for him, especially in vanilla. I mean, like, not exactly because of the Hydras here, but because the bronze can be quite powerful in a good power like here, while a good power situation like here, and very good locus right about now by ChronoJJ. They're gonna be costing GrandMonster basically all of it, because of all the blockage. Man, this is so well played. By the blockage of all the army and all the units by player and Iron Maiden. So right now GrandMonster, even though he's gonna be advancing into the heroic cage, he's just gonna be completely, utterly screwed, because he just lost. He lost all the villages on gold. And man, that is gonna be a huge blow. And right now it's gonna be time for No Mercy to right now somehow punish him for that, because that was damn well played. Nice cooperation by the whole team, and it definitely yielded needed results. So right now it seems like he might be heading for the front TC almost, with even cover of the ceasefire potentially. Though with the yellow army pretty much being gone, I don't think it's gonna be all that necessary. You can see medium Hippicons already for 3-eyed Odin, and he's through as well. Whereas on the right flank, there's gonna be front TC attempted to be basically sneakily taken by ChronoJJ. And he's gonna sneak in forward and even scouting if the front TC, or at the front. Well, yeah, it kinda is a front TC as well, because considering how it has spawned, it actually looks like that Marcos has taken the front TC of 3-eyed Odin. So potentially 3-eyed Odin could be getting both of those at the back as his own, whereas the front on the right side, well, it's gonna be right now challenging. But he is at least pushing forward against Chrono, and he seems to be having not that bad of a luck. But as he's missing any kind of reasonable siege weapons right about now, he's kind of fighting in a very bad spot. I don't exactly think it's all that necessary. Just kind of gonna be looking, few priests are actually coming forward, and they are. They most certainly are right about now. So it's gonna be resulting into, well, still this Nymph Alliance being here, but I don't think he has anything reasonable. It's only shooting archers and birdies, which will destroy villages here and there, potentially some kind of army, but certainly, absolutely certainly not that middle stronghold. So this fight doesn't make all that much of a sense, but the TC is finished, much more important than anything else, whereas the TC in the middle is going to be finished for player as well, as unfortunately the idea is coming to the teal player just a bit too late. Just a bit too late indeed, as at the back there's gonna be quite a solid raiding yet again right now by player on 3-eyed Odin. It's gonna be killing at least like 3 villages there already. So well done. Gonna be switching somewhere else for his bounty, and probably just basically checking the TCs out. And did he advance through Apollon? So imagine basically Underworld Passage here into the middle and stealing both of these TCs, and it doesn't have to be only him. He can do it together with his teammate, as apparently, holy damn, GrandMonster, even though he lost like tons of his economy, he's right now gonna be coming up with vengeance. Apparently it's like some kind of berserk mode for him, as he has even stolen from TC from Iron Maiden, who is yet again going for a bit of raid on the gold for the second time, but GrandMonster is paying attention. Maybe he could be using extra wall here as well, with a bit of a gate, so that he doesn't have to go into the middle all that much. But yeah, well, those raiders, they do have maybe some kind of upgrades. Yeah, kinda do. The whole baseline already. They are gonna be able to deal with this little army and at least deny the gold gathering for the time being, as the hunters are still present on the left, and there is a bit of a gold mine still on the left side, which potentially could be available for him, but it's probably just too close to Iron Maiden for him to be comfortable about it. Well, so it seems like the game is so far going reasonably well at this point for the bottom team, especially considering that ChronoJJ is right now gonna be pushing against Marcos, and he seems to be doing a decent job at that, but it might not be really all that long lasting. This battle is gonna be, of course, delayed for a bit before some kind of extra guys are gonna be coming forward with some kind of siege intent. As Bolt has been cast right now by player on the left, as the battle is getting quite serious, and maybe you're gonna be seeing some frost at this point. Doesn't seem all that bad of an option, as bit of a forest fire by GrandMonster is definitely not a bad idea. You can see right now Odysseus and a few Hippicons and maybe even Jason are gonna be right now burned alive. And with the army from GrandMonster and, well, kinda trying to escape into the forest, it's still gonna be dealing a bit of damage into Iron Maiden, but not necessarily enough. As the Heavy Raiders with the base level upgrades, that is certainly quite a solid army, considering that GrandMonster doesn't have any upgrades on his own unit so far. For Iron Maiden, with medium Hippicons and pretty much nothing on them either, he's gonna be probably waiting for the Forge of Olympus a bit later into the game. That's gonna be becoming reality for him, as Iron Maiden will be probably right now trying to drop at least a few rams, getting onto the TC, as the situation is getting a bit out of hand for him. And he needs to be securing the third TC as soon as possible. So yet again, I definitely would be considering that Underworld Passage basically just to steal the TCs at the back could have been something, but it seems to be already right now gone. Back TC for 3-eyed Odin, already third one for him, as he has taken one from his teammate on the left, which is gonna be right now leaving. Interestingly lopsided game, with Marcos still available, rather having the back TC available to him. But he is right now trying to take the front one, which was attempted by only one villager by ChronoJJ, which obviously had not much of a reason to succeed. Whereas here, the Migdal Stronghold is gonna be almost finished, and that's gonna be making sure that the TC is not gonna be coming for him all that easily. But with Pharaoh gone, it's not gonna be coming up at all, especially if it's gonna be played well by Marcos, because he needs to be sending at least a few of those destroyers, not against the camel, come on, pay attention. Against the Migdal, yeah, and not exactly the villages either. The villages can be probably raided by the Murmillo or even the Strinfalian Bird or anything else. Definitely not a good usage of its time. Right now fighting against the Migdal. Yeah, well, as you were talking about it, that it could be actually stopped. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Right now, it can be at least repaired, but all the shooting is gonna be certainly helping in making sure that the settlement is not gonna be coming up all that quickly. As ChronoJJ is still right now having a few idols on the right side, but his map position seems to be quite strong enough. And GrandMonster on the left is gonna be right now casting Frost, quite a solid one around the front TC here. And it's gonna be giving him and buying him plenty of time to get going, and of course to help his teammate get into the mythical age and become even more dangerous, as he's already having heavy Hippicons, and we are probably gonna be expecting not only the Radiant on the left side in here, but much more importantly, he could be expecting some kind of mythical ages somewhere. Let's check out the TCs. Maybe something is gonna be coming forward like that. Fortified TC for green. That seems to be pretty much it, as the TC is still pretty much open in the middle. And this is gonna be quite a solid point of contention. Luckily for Marcos, he does have a back TC yet again there. So he should be going for that and then fighting for this front TC. So kind of tactical decisions that have to be made a bit better for him, as apparently ChronoJJ not even right now getting any kind of upgrade into there, be it Masons or Fortified TC, as you're gonna be checking into player if maybe Mythical Age is coming forward, and it certainly is, as Marcos is through, but Hephaestus is on the way. So Hephaestus is on the way, otherwise the battle is gonna be right now resuming in the middle with quite a solid losses for green. You can see tonight Odin losing tons of Hippicons in the battle, as Iron Maiden is still having quite a solid army, and he seems to be having medium throwing axeman with already double bronze and copper, so the upgrades are coming there so quickly. Whereas for red, he is still without any kind of upgrades, but we mustn't forget that he lost a ton of villages, a literal ton of villages before. So it's not much of a surprise in that, and it's kind of impressive that he's able to be basically so strong in the game, even through that. So very well played on that front. No upgrade so far for green. For player, we don't see anything either. Gonna be pretty much waiting for the same. This is gonna be right now heading into... Well, he probably doesn't have to fall back all that much. Oh, but he was falling tactically. He was trying to basically get the throwing axeman in the choke point between the two buildings, so that they cannot be surrounded. And that is really well played, and something you don't see very often. But sometimes you see it, and it is definitely something that they should be doing a whole lot more with shooting units, because it is definitely saving you a lot of hit points, and it's really annoying for the opponent. And if he's not used to that, or kind of really is not paying all that much of attention, it can be definitely punishing him very hard. Okay, so this Latin gate is probably gonna be destroyed by the villagers right about now, but still, at least a few spawns are still gonna be here, as the bronze is gonna be cast into, well, quite a solid double army. This is gonna be enough, probably will be, as there's gonna be tons of shooting, maybe could have been pulling it a bit back, so that this hill fort could be shooting into all the units as well. But otherwise, it seems like that ChronoJJ is at 40 Cs already, so he has apparently succeeded with taking the town center from Marcos, and Marcos probably still hasn't realized that he does have 1 TC available behind him, that he could be taken, and he absolutely certainly should be, so that he has some kind of chance against ChronoJJ, who already does have heavy elephants, with baseline of upgrades slowly coming there, whereas he's still fighting with medium turmas with no upgrades whatsoever, and otherwise really not having all that many upgrades, only mediums, and that's not gonna be working long term for him. He certainly needs the back TC and potentially even a bit of assistance from his teammate 3-eyed Odin. Okay, no mercy. So, F2 player is already through. Right now, kinda tempted to be looking with another big doll tactically being built for ChronoJJ in the front to have a look for the mythical age for green. Yeah, it's already come in. Can see Hephaestus is on the way. Exactly as it should be, with the economy for GrandMonster probably being rather solid. He's having Winter Harvest, but otherwise only Plow and only Hendak, so the economy is not really that strong, as opposed to what he could be looking, as he's right now trying to spend at least a few towers, as it is definitely an idea, because he's fighting plenty of horses, you can see basically from both players, and he can be spamming a few towers with granulations, then he's gonna be making this part of the map a whole lot easier to defend, and he should be definitely sparing 1 or 2 throwing axemen to repair the TC, because right now it's about 800 hit points less, and that is definitely not great, especially considering that finally we're gonna be seeing a bit of a siege weapon push against him. So that seems like that maybe Iron Maiden is gonna be getting a 3 TC sometime soon. Almost exactly looks the case, as heavy hoplites are already coming through. You can see baseline is coming in, so therefore fortunately Olympus has been already researched, whereas his opponent is already kinda halfway there as well on the baseline, but well, probably not gonna be even all that much of a chance how to stop this altogether, as he has lost all the army, and right now repairing all of that is maybe gonna be a bit too late, and they don't have all that many good options and what to do, because 3-eyed Odin needs to be keeping the ceasefire against the flaming weapons, because if he doesn't, then the flaming weapons are just gonna be completely and utterly controlling him. Okay, so we're gonna be right now switching into apparently a bit of a raiding at the back still. And a few idlers for Iron Maiden as well. Can see having his hands full with coordinating the battlefield in there. As they look moving forward, you can see quite a lot of praying coming forward, so we might be expecting at least a few colossi, but so far they are not even clicked in. And it's gonna be apparently up to champion hoplites with already all bronze. And how's it looking with the horses? Already heavy hippogons as well. Now to push forward and still keeping the battle alive. And this is of course the problem for the Norse. If he needs to be keeping repairing, then he's spending army and the population limit that he needs to be using in the battle, and he just cannot. And it's a bit of a kind of like backfiring mechanism, basically the opposite of what they are able to do, especially in the early game, which are, for example, the build-ups right next to the opponent. So hoplites are already going to be coming forward with even a few Hellaply, so this is looking quite promising with the TC, and even a bit of raiding on the left on the gold mine, which is kind of running out already, but still, it is going to be important for the red player. There is one extra gold mine on the left, which I'm not sure if he has scouted. That could have been actually scouted by his opponents quite easily, as at least 45 TCs in with masons and crenellations, so if they could be getting at least even a few more towers, it is definitely the correct idea for all of that, and it is gonna be working against all the horses. Well, right now the TC seems to be still standing, as the problems are definitely real for a player to be getting forward with Iron Maiden. Where the upgrades are already coming forward for it. At least right now the copper mail with heavy infantry, much more importantly, and already champion hippogons for the blue or the green player with baseline of upgrades and slowly coming forward as well. Whereas ChronoJJ on the right side is doing what he can with Son of Osiris right now moving forward, and Underworld Passage come in where exactly? All the way at the back. Yeah, exactly for the TCs, and with this solid raiding, it's gonna be really hard to get rid of, even through the Masons and the fortified TC, as all this army with especially a few villages forward, right now dropping a few towers, and even the ceasefire is still there. He could be very easily just stealing both of the TCs at the same time. And making sure it's gonna be working as right now. 3-eyed Odin is forced into the ceasefire. And oh, this is what right now Iron Maiden is waiting for, and he's gonna be right now preparing for not exactly Ragnarok, but it could still be Ragnarok. He's a Thor, so let's check. Oh, it is going to be Ragnarok with flaming weapons. Yeah, even though right now 3-eyed Odin needed to do it, it's not gonna be, I think, changing right now the situation. She's gonna be really getting impossible for him, as already the battle is not going that good. It's not going really tragic. but it's not going great. They're really fighting for the life here. And Ragnarok with flame weapons on top of that. Full strength. Not basically nerfed through Wobbly Balance patch 3.0 as we are playing on hybrid. Oh man. Oh man, I don't exactly see how they could be handling this. He just basically needs to be spamming military buildings and towers and hill forts absolutely everywhere. Because otherwise this is just going to be it. As Mythical Age is in for GrandMonster as well. He's gonna be having his own Ragnarok, but without the weapons. Without the weapons, so therefore he probably is gonna be quite significantly manhandled. Alright, so this DC is gonna be probably right now destroyed, even though there's at least a bit of a defense already up. The Ragnarok is coming forward from GrandMonster as the first one. With the Underworld Passage still standing and quite nicely built around. Nice blockage all around here. With a few pushes forward, also right now becoming real with the Help Live. Whereas, oh, there is. I was almost looking at some kind of raid-in, but no, it's only a lot of trade all around. As ChronoJJ is right now pushing forward with quite clever walling, just to prevent any kind of attack on the catapults and all kinds of army. And yeah, unfortunately he is second to the dark side. And as he usually doesn't use mercenaries, in this game he is going to be using them. Therefore just making sure that Marcos is gonna be not only losing the back TC in there, that player is gonna be taken, but he's gonna be losing the base one as well. And it's definitely not looking all that great for him. As Chrono is having right now a heavy cavalry with already the baseline and a bronze in there on the weapons. As on the left we're gonna be watching the Heroes of Ragnarok coming forward, but from Iron Maiden is gonna be pretty much the same. Alright, it's right now having double bronze and copper, and I'm expecting that Iron Maiden might be fully upgraded. He's right now missing only iron weapons, which might even somewhere on the way. Not exactly certain where he's having right now. Where he is having his own. Do we see it somewhere? Armory? Yeah, well, they are on the way. Iron weapons are definitely on the way with the random towers in between the farming, so that he is protecting himself against a potential Ragnarok if he reached him. But apparently that's not exactly gonna be the case. They're gonna be right now fighting one against the other. And I'm just waiting for the flame weapons. I'm thinking that right about now they should be already cast. Yeah, they need to be really cast right about now. And, well, he has to hope that maybe player doesn't somehow misplay and ceasefire himself. So hopefully he's paying enough attention and basically just no win. What's right now happening on the left side. Whereas on the right, well, it's gonna be inevitable. You basically push back and fall back. The right Odin is gonna be losing a TC at the backside as well. He's definitely not gonna be able to repair it fast enough, as he's having all the upgrades that he potentially could be having. And unfortunately, they don't seem to be having any kind of significant way how to get rid of the Underworld Passage. Yet again, the choice of the Dionysus was kinda interesting, but Underworld Passage in team games is usually just kind of better. It just quite often is. Alright, so the champion Hippicon's probably gonna be fully upgraded already at this point. Come on, some kind of unit. Yeah, full upgrades pretty much. For yellow it's gonna be the same. Yeah, well, everybody all iron, as we are right now gonna be looking onto the left side. But this is gonna be resulting into the 3-eyed Odin already resigning. The ceasefire for a player coming forward, as the Ragnarok on the left just wasn't going anywhere. And in any kind of good way. And it was pretty much obvious. So it would be basically going only one way, but in the meantime, still, he didn't have all that many Heroes of Ragnarok left, to be honest. I think that GrandMonster did well, really well indeed, in the defense against that, because we don't see any kind of other units elsewhere. So this is fairly surprising to me, how well he did. He really doesn't have any kind of department anywhere else at all. So really well done, the defense against the Flame Weapon Ragnarok and otherwise. But the Underworld Passage, that is just a bit too much, and something that... well, they just don't have any kind of counterplay too, especially with ChronoJJ already right now taking the town center from Marcos and asserting his dominance there. But this was a very good game on both fronts and on both sides, and I have to really pick up GrandMonster, how he was able to play even after losing tons of villages. You're gonna be saying it a bit later, right about now in the post game, because that raid-in at the start, well, mid to start of the game was really quite impressive. Let's check right now with the post game. It's gonna be played with the highest score, with 3-eyed Odin and ChronoJJ being quite close by with Iron Maiden as well. He was doing pretty good trading. That Iron Maiden, that definitely has to be said. That was well done. It was quite well done in that, or rather on that front, as players send at least a few resources. You can see 3-eyed Odin as well. That's probably gonna be into GrandMonster. But player, well, maybe into Iron Maiden, as he was having a bit of a time, and well, the problem, getting kind of the timing into the Mythical Age, it seemed. 260. Nice military count. Well, of course, with the Heroes of Ragnarok on top of everything. Well, otherwise, ChronoJJ 220, but there are gonna be, of course, plenty of mercenaries. on top of that and in there. Didn't exactly see all that many centaurs from player in there. Fairly interesting. I was thinking he might be having a bit more. Or rather, a bit less, rather. Definitely 3-eyed Odin was a bit more prevalent as far as the trading goes. And this is the brutal raiding by Iron Maiden into GrandMonster, which was really impressive that he was able to still keep himself alive. He's like at 47, 48, and he dropped to about like 30. So he lost like 15 gold villages, basically all the gold economy that he was having at that point. And even after that, he was really able to play so well and keep Iron Maiden at bay, and even take a second and third TC, which was both front, and one of them was front of his enemies, and basically hold it till the end of the game. Really impressive play by GrandMonster, has to be said. If it wasn't for that, you could be kinda maybe guessing that they might be even pushing through into Iron Maiden's base there. Well, didn't happen, and therefore F2 are gonna be getting their first win in this important match, and they are closer to advancing into the playoffs. GG.